I'm ready, man. Sunshine, beaches, and a little bit of education with it, man. You can't beat it. And I'll tell you the best way to start to understand if you fall within this bucket. If you yourself are confused, if you yourself are asking, well, should I put this out there? Should I not? Where should I put it? Does this go with my company or is this me? All right. If you're in that point right now, you're messing up. We go out to people and I'll constantly ask them to be on camera. I'm not that individual. No, I'm not the camera person. Guy. Yeah, you are. You just are thinking you built a story in your head, which we're going to tackle. And we're going to figure out why you believe that. And then why that's hanging you up from starting that personal brand that's going to help you just skyrocket your business on your professional side.
Welcome to the Claims Game Podcast with Vince Perri. Get all the tips you need from insurance claim advocates and professionals and grow your public adjusting career to the next level. And now the commercial claims advocate, Vince Perri.
Okay. I'm so excited about this. We're calling it, Patrick, are you ready for this? You're going to get this is very clever. You're going to get a kick out of this. This podcast series that we're doing, it's called Passport to Miami.
I'm ready, man. Sunshine, beaches, and a little bit of education with it, man. You can't beat it.
And just a bunch of Latinos, Hispanics. Nobody speaks English in Miami. That's where I'm from, born and raised. That's why it's a passport to Miami. I
love it, man. I mean, as a single man, if you're into that kind of stuff, I guess.
Ooh,
but I mean,
it's a good place to be a single man, let me tell you. So yep. I'm excited because you are going to be speaking there, Patrick. And the reason why we're doing this podcast series is I want you to drop the knowledge that I know you have in this industry. And you are going to be talking about at the event and here right now, you're going to be teaching us about building your personal brand, but mixing your personal brand with your professional brand, that is a huge issue that people have. And I know right here before recording, you had the same issue. And quite frankly, Patrick, I had the same issue too. Do I post it on my personal account? Do I post it on my business account? Do I post it like this? Do I look like this? It's very, very difficult to eventually blend the two. And what this particular episode is about is I want you to teach our audience exactly how to do that. So that by the end of this half hour we're going to do, people are going to be like, man, I need to know more. I need to go to Advocates United on November 16th so I can meet Patrick in person and learn even more of what he knows. What do you think?
I love it, man. I'm excited to be able to do that here. And I'll jump right in if that's okay, Vince.
Yeah, let's do it.
When we talk about building a personal and professional brand, you first have to understand the currency between both of them. So your currency on your personal brand is attention. Your currency on your professional brand is going to be the dollar bills coming in your pocket or your wallet. Now, when you start to think about what the end goal is, then you start to formulate from there, how am I going to develop each brand to get more of what I need? So let's take it there personal, for instance, first. You're trying to get attention is the name of the game in your personal brand. And if attention is going to be the name of the game, what you need to do is come up with things that are going to grab attention, as crazy as that might sound. These are things that are trending. These are topics. For me personally, I go into the motivation side. My YouTube channel has turned much more motivational now because people like it because I got a deep voice and I speak in that way that I think that people will resonate with them on a strictly motivational side. I like doing that. And it brings in, what that does is it brings in people to view and they find value and they give it attention. Here's the mistake I made, and this is what a lot of people do. They confuse that with their professional brand, I mean. They start talking about things like motivation. And they also start talking about things like a large loss that they recently had. Well, now your audience is confused. You need to focus on one side on your personal brand. What is your personal brand? And then you go in and you try to get attention with that. This is where, as a personal individual, play to your strength. What is it? Are you an analytical type who's able to break things down very well for people? Start to look at where you can use your strength on your personal brand to garner attention from an audience to build trustworthiness within yourself. Now, simultaneously on our other side, Vince, we got our professional brand. You got to make money. So what you don't want to do is confuse them both. Now, when I post over to Blue Collar Media Group, where we're creating content for contractors, everything I do has to do with our clients, has to do with media, has to do with building content, has to do with us shooting content. I'm not confusing that with Patrick Carr over here in the Patrick Carr Show. I think at the beginning, people confuse these. They get them integrated. And before you know it, are you Vince Perri, the online personality? Or are you Vince Perri, the public adjuster who is out there with the tools and things necessary to be able to scale and grow your business faster than the competition? People begin to get confused, all right? And I'll tell you the best way to start to understand if you fall within this bucket. If you yourself are confused, if you yourself are asking, well, should I put this out there? Should I not? Where should I put it? Does this go with my company or is this me? All right. If you're in that point right now, you're messing up. And so this is what I want to get across to the audience is where is your personal brand currently right now? Where is your professional brand? And then I'm going to give them the tools to be able to give themselves a grade on where they're at. I want them to literally be able to go, I'm making a C- here, but I'm an A on my professional side. How are we going to get that back up without hurting your professional brand over here? So we want to raise up, rising tides raise all boats right here. We need to rise that personal brand and that professional brand together for those people who attend. They're going to have the tools necessary to far surpass their competition on both sides.
So I could only speak from experience. I love talking about this because it was definitely quite the journey. But so we're talking about like if you have, let's say, your personal brand, and then you have like your company website, right? Is that what you're talking about? Would you still recommend, though, let's say on your personal brand, you're talking about whatever it is that you're talking about, and then on your company, we'll call it Instagram, should it still be you? Should it be someone else? Like what is it that you, like should it still be the same person? Because I am a firm believer that people will relate, even if it's a business brand, they relate to the person more than they do to the business. What do you think about that?
I do. I love that. Now, here's the way to begin to think about it. If you build a personal brand, when you go to talk business with people, you've done it right when they go, man, I'm good. I already know, I know you. I know you're going to do it right. I feel, they've watched your stuff and you've built trust within that individual. You've done your personal brand right there. Where people get confused, though, is they go over to your company page and they see things from your personal brand that don't have to do with the company that you thought was cool. And people start to get into the fact that, well, look, this reel, this short that I did over here on my personal page, it's getting a lot of views and traction. Let me put it over here to Blue Collar Media Group page. And that way I start to get eyeballs on the Blue Collar Media Group, even though it has to do with, as I said earlier, let's say a motivational piece or a podcast piece that I do out there on the Patrick Carr Show. And I'm like, this is funny. I got one coming out today. It talks about me used to have a comb over and how I shaved my head because I got tired of looking on camera right here and seeing it like thinning out. And it was in a podcast with the Roof Gallery up in Georgia. It's a funny clip. And I'm so tempted to put it over there to Blue Collar Media. I want to, but that has nothing to do with Blue Collar Media Group. It has to do with the Patrick Carr Show and a personal brand that I'm having over here. You cannot confuse these two for the purpose of vanity. And we act like it doesn't matter, but when you get something that you like and you start getting a little bit of traction on it, you want to confuse them both. And so what I want to do is help give your audience the tools to draw that line in the sand. When do we go one way? When do we go the other? So absolutely, be your person that represents your company, but make sure when you're representing your company, you're representing it, not this personal brand that you want to build over here, whatever that might be. There are a few people who can do it both. There's Josh Bigger up there in Canada who does an amazing job, but they're very rare that you're going to be able to separate them for your audience.
I'm laughing my ass off because I have my people, we started the Commercial Claims Show and Commercial Claims Advocate. And for me, that was just a dream of mine of finding a way to just create a book, create a course, have it sell online so that I could travel the world. That was kind of the original idea, right? But, obviously I have a public adjusting firm as well, and it has been very, very difficult. Now, they're each their own company, but it has been extremely difficult to kind of like bring them together. It's the same industry, but one is education and products. Another one is claims and a service. So it's like, and I keep telling the team for like the last 3 years, it's the same thing. Why don't we just blend it? It should be here. And they're just like, no, like right now, it doesn't make sense. We cannot have commercial claims advocate on an elite resolution, not only on an elite resolutions website. Not only are they different colors, but we're speaking to two completely different audiences, which is where it becomes difficult, because although it's about public adjusting and it's about claims, the only people who are really interested in the commercial claim show are public adjusters, contractors, attorneys, because that's the information. That's what I'm talking to. But the content that we are still in the process of creating for Elite Resolutions, a public adjusting firm, has to be geared towards homeowners, business owners, real estate investors, and people who own property. So it's been a little bit of a struggle. Yeah. It ain't easy.
It's not easy. And that's the third point I want to make to you right here, is that we need to talk about the content you do create. And that's one of the things I want to talk to your audience about. Is one of the biggest problems I see when we travel to contractors and attorneys, you name it, across the country to produce content, is if I walked in the door and I said, we need to produce a commercial a day. And here's a crazy example, Vince. Every time we do for clients called services do you offer video or services we offer video. And most of the time I get a laugh when I ask this during pre-production. I will ask the contractor, attorney, adjuster, tell me the services you offer. And they'll kind of be like, I'm a roofer, buddy. I roof. To which I kind of look at them and go, what kind of roofing? Do you do metal? Do you do shingle? Do you do tile? Do you do repairs? Do you do flat roofs, TPO? Do you do gutters? Do you do siding? What kind of so I need to know the plethora of your services. Most people can't answer that question. They haven't thought about it themselves to figure out what services does my brand over here offer to my clients. All right, well, let's establish that then. Now you've got that down. Let's really start to hone in. You may be embarrassed by the fact right now that you don't even know all the plethora of your services, or you don't know how much of one service is your business. 90%, 80%, you're not even sure. This conference is about toning in on your numbers so that you know how to build that professional brand on one side. All right, because we need to figure that out for you. On your personal brand, what are your strengths? Do you know your strengths? We can figure that out. And that's what we're going to do from the stage, is we're going to get together and we're going to go, what are your strengths as an individual, as an entrepreneur? And what value can you bring to your audience that's going to garner, again, attention over here to build your personal brand? And so once we break down the individual and we break down the personal and the professional brand, we're going to have a pathway to build them both on a parallel line simultaneously and just grow them both through the roof. Now, that's where things get fun. Yes, that's where you get what I call the crossover audience, brother. And when you get that crossover audience, things get real special. Because now...
Tell me more.
Because now you don't have to sell. And everybody out there, no one wants to sell. What you want to do is you want to walk into the room, get on the call, shake the hand with the individual who goes, man, you know what? I see your stuff. I've seen you talking about, your morning routine. Because, the motivational stuff I got something from that. I remember seeing that. I don't have to sell to that person anymore. That person knows my personal brand right now. So if you're out there and you're having to sell, this is another way, Vince, that I tell my clients, you haven't built a personal brand that's strong enough. If you're having to sell yourself to people in your industry, they don't know your personal brand. How can you tell me your personal brand is strong enough if you're still having to sell to these people? And then you have to look at it, if we're going to take a step further, which we are going to do there, and I don't want to spoil it right now, why you're not doing it. Because now we have to really dive deep into up here. And we have to conquer a few things. And there's only a few reasons people aren't producing content. And I'm going to go through them with your audience. And we're going to break down why and how do you overcome those. Because once you overcome them personally, then you have a personal brand that can skyrocket. Things get fun right there. But we need to learn, what are your hangups? Why aren't you doing it? And what are we going to do to tackle here and here to begin to get it right? There's a mental side to this game that nobody wants to explore or even admit to, because we got a lot of pride. You're over the age of 30. You don't want to think about the fact that I'm not building a personal brand because I don't have enough self-confidence. I'm insecure about the number of likes and where I'm at in my life.
I don't like social media.
I don't like social media. I'm not a social media person. I'm not that person. I'll give you another example, Vince. We go out to people and I'll constantly ask them to be on camera. I'm not that individual. No, I'm not the camera person.
Guy.
Yeah, you are. You just are thinking, you built a story in your head, which we're going to tackle. And we're going to figure out why you believe that. And then why that's hanging you up from starting that personal brand that's going to help you just skyrocket your business on your professional side. Don't confuse that they aren't together. They are. They're tied well together. And we just have to figure out how you're going to do both.
You know who's not that guy? Me, you, you and I are not that guy, but we are that guy because we're that guy now. It is. You just do what you got to do.
Oh yeah, man. I hated social media. I wasn't very good at it. No. But you do it every day and you get a little bit better. You get 1% better each week. And then it becomes fun. And that's what I want to do. I want to teach people on the professional side what kind of content your business should be creating to build that brand, what kind of content on your personal side. And here's the last part, Vince. What the heck do I do with that content? Okay, because let's just say you're a business that's starting out. You don't have a lot of time to build your brand. Maybe you don't want to have something that's going to be too time consuming for you. I'm going to break down how you can do this all with a schedule, what the brand could look like at the end of 1 month, what it could look like at the end of 2 and 3 months. I want to give a 90-day plan together that we're going to say, let's get this thing through the roof.
That's pretty cool. 90-day plan. Everybody likes a 90-day plan.
Yeah, and without a lot of work. I'm not talking about hours a day here, folks. Right. What I'm talking about is committed to doing a couple things and also admitted to saying, hey, listen, I haven't done them because of this reason. And here's the steps that we're going to do to overcome that. And here's the exact videos I need you to create right here. I did this with a 60-day challenge before. I've seen the results that it has. And if people just follow the plan, their brand is going to go through the roof. And that's what we're trying to build around here.
Interesting. Where do we put the brand, right? I mean, I think that's an important question to ask. Like, do we go across all social media platforms? Do we choose one that we like? I am under the impression that if you find one that you like, go all in on it. But I don't know if you'd agree or not.
I always tell people, I do agree with you. I agree that is a very good place. And I love that way of doing it. I even take it a step further of which one do you go all in on, though? Which one do you spend your time on? Yeah. Which one do you like? You know, I would tell they'd be like, well, someone tells me to do YouTube, but you hate YouTube, but you love Spotify. Why don't you just go all in on Spotify?
That's good.
Because whatever you like and you enjoy and that you listen or watch, you'll be more enthusiastic about. If you try to force LinkedIn onto somebody and they hate the platform, good luck getting somebody to post there every day. They don't want to be on that app. Personally, I'm going to talk I'm going to dive into YouTube. And what I want to talk about with YouTube is just the immense amount of popularity that YouTube has. And here's the thing, the immense opportunity. And here's the reason why I would ask your audience this. I want them to think about something going into this conference, brother. How many marketing companies are offering YouTube as a service right now? Practically none. All right. Because they don't understand it themselves. And so this is something to where if a marketing company did understand YouTube, they'd have more popular channels, wouldn't they? And so this is where you have an opportunity now as a single individual to build your personal brand beyond reproach through YouTube, where people are spending their time more than they are to Facebook or any other app out there. What I want to do is I'm going to show your audience this. What do you do with that content on YouTube to reach the maximum number of people in your area of service?
Ooh.
You don't need to be popular in Colorado if you're not licensed in Colorado, do you? But where you are licensed, we need to hit it. And I'm going to show you how you do that with a video so that it's evergreen and is constantly generating a personal brand for you. Timing is important, everybody. All right. You get a video, you want to put it out there and you want to get it like that. But we may have to go ahead and do some things behind the scenes before that video goes out, and then you never have to touch it again. I'm going to go through those with the audience about how do you take that content on YouTube and dominate with it with that short video that builds the brand over time. I call it an evergreen video.
I got to listen to this. I can't wait. I went all in on YouTube. YouTube's the best.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
My reason for it was I realized that people YouTube just as much as they Google. Like people are much more, I think in today's day and age, 2023, more people are visual learners nowadays, as opposed to, you know, reading an article and stuff like that. So I went all in on it, and yeah, that's that to me. But people are afraid to post on YouTube. They're really afraid of posting and pressing that plus button and uploading to YouTube. And I don't understand why. Like, it seems very intimidating to people.
And it is intimidating. And I think, Vince, one of the things I talk about with the mental side of things is we have to give the devil its due. And I tell my clients that we're talking to a piece of glass, plastic, and metal. If that comes naturally to you, then you're messed up. All right. Go move to Hollywood and be out there with the rest of the quackos out there, whack jobs out there in LA. All right. But for most of us, when it comes to talking to something like that, what we think about is, no, that's not right. It's not natural, and it shouldn't be. So give the devil its due. Give the tough that is tougher than what it looks like. And when you start to go, okay, this is not easy, but then you should be looking at, okay, this means not many people are doing it.
Right.
And so there's an opportunity there, just as there is with any business, to build when other people are not willing to do it right now.
Exactly. Well, Patrick, that was exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm getting pumped right now. I got a little sweat going off my brow right now.
It's going to be awesome, man. I mean, I can't wait. It's going to be, you're going to be the idea of it, Patrick, is we're going to do like breakout sessions. So we're taking the main room and we're going to break it out into 4, and you are going to be in a breakout session, just dropping crazy knowledge of education on branding and all of this. You're going to take this right here to the next level.
Well, man, if your audience doesn't know me, this is how I am all the time, folks.
All the time. If you guys don't know Patrick, this is Patrick 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Even during the workday and during the party hours, it's still like this.
That's right, man. I look forward to both of those. I want you to know that. Both sides.
There's going to be plenty of it. So hold on. Besides the breakout, we are also going to do, we're calling it like a sofa session, but it's basically a panel, which you'll be up there with Liz and with a couple of the marketing people, and we'll be just answering questions of the entire audience. I think should be pretty cool. And Good. Then also, yes, there's a VIP event the night before on a boat. And there's a VIP event the night of, which we are closing down a cigar lounge. So
cigars, boats, Miami, sun, Latin, women.
Yeah. It's going to be a good time.
Listen, I'm going to suffer through this for you, Vince. It's just because we're friends.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you.
This happens again, man. I don't know. But this time, you got my word. I'm going to do it right this time.
Okay. And if it happens again, you'll be back.
Yeah. In a heartbeat.
All right, Patrick, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you so much for committing yourself to this event. I do really appreciate it. I appreciate your friendship as well. We've talked a lot. We've done a lot of stuff on camera, so I just appreciate the relationship that we have, man. Thank you so much.
You're the best of what you do, Vince. I'm so happy for your success and look forward to being a part of it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, buddy.